Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content.
Or wealth. I have always considered it my duty to complete the tasks you have assigned to me. Therefore, whether you grant me any position or not, it makes no difference to me. However, I cannot tolerate anyone questioning my patriotism or loyalty to the kingdom. As long as this Hechchana is alive, he will be committed to protecting the Hoysala kingdom and will never yield to positions or wealth offered by others. Regardless of my circumstances or lack of position, I am ready to lay down my life for this kingdom whenever necessary. Upon hearing this, the people and officials in the assembly stood up and applauded, filling the hall with cheers. Seeing the support Hechchana had among the people and officials, those who opposed him fell silent and sat down. The opponents were rendered speechless, and as they remained seated, the king, with a smile, rose from his throne. The applause gradually subsided as everyone eagerly awaited what the king would say. Once the applause had ceased, the king addressed the assembly, saying, "In my kingdom, birth, caste, or religion are not the criteria for attaining positions. Only those with talent, capability, and the support of the people are eligible for promotions here. The majority of the assembly has shown their support for Hechchana. Moreover, Malunayaka has declared Hechchana as his own son. Therefore, I will soon appoint him as the guardian of Hampi under the name Hechchamanayaka, considering him as Malunayaka's son." After making this declaration, the king left the assembly, which once again erupted into loud applause. Kadi lifted Hechchana in joy, expressing his happiness. That night, some of the officials who opposed Hechchana becoming the protector of Hampi gathered for a meeting with King's brother, Chika Viranarasimha. In that meeting, they sat around a table, drinking alcohol. "He's someone who grew up right before our eyes, and now he's rising above us, trampling us down. If we let him continue unchecked, he'll swallow us whole, just like the banyan tree in that story that swallowed the palmyra tree. I don't like the idea of appointing that young Hechchana as the protector of this city over all the experienced officials here," said Gundaya, pouring more alcohol into his cup. "Yes, as long as his father Malunayaka was alive, all the plots we made to make our lord, this Chika Viranarasimha, the king were thwarted. Now that Malunayaka is gone, we thought there would be no more obstacles, but this Hechchana has risen, surpassing his father. If he becomes the protector of Hampi, not only will the city's protection but also the king's protection fall into his hands. If that happens, our wish to dethrone the king and make Chika Viranarasimha the king will be impossible," said Rangadu, expressing his concerns. Until then, Chika Viranarasimha, who had been quietly drinking, spoke up, "One way or another, I must become the king. I've been waiting for years to ascend the throne of this Hoysala empire. Not a single opportunity has come my way. Will I ever get that chance?" he said with a look of determination, closing his eyes as he waited for the right moment. The next morning, as part of his duties, Hechchana set out to inspect the borders of Hampi. Everyone he encountered along the way congratulated him on his upcoming promotion. While making his rounds, Hechchana reached the northern gate of the city where Kadi was on duty. There, Kadi was speaking to another soldier, saying, "Hey, in a few days, my close friend Hechchana, who belongs to our Muslim faith, will take over the city's protection. I'll talk to him and make sure all the Muslim soldiers in this kingdom get promotions." Another soldier who overheard this replied, "Didn't our king declare in the full assembly that promotions wouldn't be based on religion or caste? Besides, most of the soldiers in this kingdom belong to our religion, so do you think you can ignore them and promote only those from your faith as if this was your father's kingdom?" Hearing this, Kadi, in anger, grabbed the soldier by the throat and said, "What did you say?" The soldier, also angry, raised his hand to strike Kadi, but seeing Hechchana approaching, he stopped. Kadi also turned around and saw Hechchana. As soon as Kadi saw Hechchana, he said, "Hussein, see what he's saying." To this, Hechchana calmly replied, "Not Hussein, I prefer to be called by the name my mother gave me, Hechchana. I heard everything. The soldier isn't wrong in what he said. Here, promotions aren't based on religion. Discipline is the primary characteristic soldiers must uphold. If you ever break discipline and cause trouble like this again, I'll have to take action against you. Be careful," he warned Kadi, who stood silent and didn't utter another word. Turning to the soldier who had quarreled with Kadi, Hechchana said, "If you ever have disagreements with your fellow soldiers, instead of engaging in fights, you should report the issue to your superiors. They will investigate and take appropriate action. You must not argue or fight with your comrades. This is your last warning. If either of you gets into a fight again, strict action will be taken against you according to military law. Both of you should forget this incident here and now." Hearing this, the two soldiers shook hands and ended their quarrel. As Kadi's duty ended, he left for home with Hechchana. While walking, Hechchana asked him, "Kadi, are you angry with me?" With a slight smile, Kadi replied, "I can never be angry with you, Dust, because you're one of us." Hechchana paused for a moment and advised, "It would be good if you could tone down your religious pride a bit." Kadi subtly shook his head. It wasn't clear if he was agreeing or disagreeing, so Hechchana continued walking with him for a while until he reached the path leading to his house, where he parted ways with Kadi. A few days later, the king officially appointed Hechchana as the protector of Hampi with the title Hechchamanayaka. Soon after, everyone began calling him Hechchamanayaka, as it was easier to pronounce than both Hussein Nayaka and Hechchamanayaka. Eventually, his name became firmly established as Hechchamanayaka. Upon his appointment as the protector of Hampi, Hechchana immediately implemented strong security measures for the city. He also periodically inspected the defenses surrounding the Hoysala kingdom, ensuring that both the citizens and the king lived without any fear regarding the kingdom's safety. Such a peaceful life was desirable to everyone, and it even drew interest from some territories on the borders of the Kakatiya and Pandya kingdoms, who expressed a desire to join the Hoysala Empire. One such nobleman, Shivaramaya, a feudatory of the Kakatiya Empire, also came to Hampi to discuss merging his territory with the Hoysala kingdom. The king arranged a meeting with Shivaramaya, Hechchana, and a few other advisors in a mansion. King Shivaramaya began, "The peace that once existed in the Kakatiya Empire no longer prevails. The kingdom is now torn apart by caste-based politics, leading to its disintegration. To make matters worse, Malik Kafur's invasion has further deteriorated the kingdom's economic situation. Our king, Prataparudra, is trying his best to recover from these losses by bringing wastelands under cultivation and developing agriculture. However, he isn't receiving the necessary support from the lower-level officials. They are all divided by caste and are fighting among themselves for their group interests. This disunity is what allowed Malik Kafur to conquer Warangal. I had hoped that this defeat would teach them a lesson and unite them, but instead, they have only deepened their caste conflicts, each blaming the other for the loss." Shivaramaya continued, "Seeing this, I realized that it is no longer safe for my territory to remain in that empire. I wish to merge my territory with your kingdom. After witnessing how you drove back Malik Kafur's forces at Dwarasamudra, I am convinced that only you can protect my land. I am willing to pay more taxes to your kingdom than I currently do to the Kakatiya Empire. Please, King, save my territory from Malik Kafur's raids," he pleaded. "King, if you don't help us in this time of crisis, No one else will be able to save my territory. After attacking Madurai, if Malik Kafur targets Hampi, my territory will be the first to fall. By protecting my territory, you will gain more time to defend your own. Don't think about it anymore. I will immediately go and have inscriptions made declaring my territory as part of your kingdom, Shivaramaya said as he stood up and left the mansion without waiting for any response. You are now responsible for protecting my territory. That's final, he said as he walked away. The king pondered whether he should fulfill the request of someone seeking refuge. He stood up and returned to his palace, deep in thought. Hechchamanayaka also couldn't decide what to do about Shivaramaya's proposal. Would he let down the hopes Shivaramaya had placed on him? Only time would tell. Although Malik Kafur emerged victorious